bringing you a little Tormented Demons guide, 2015, updated, new and improved, super ultimate guide. Okay, so start off a few requirements which are going to be necessary for efficient slaying of the TDs. Firstly, 80 plus ranged, absolute necessity, well not absolute, but highly recommended for the access to Royal Crossbow or Armadillo bow. Of course, you can increase this to 90, 95, Zarite bow, and bows such as those. Magic, 80 plus magic, because we will, for this guide, be switching between ranged and magic. So 80 plus magic necessary for our fire wave, or greater than that fire surge. I think it's in that order. Whichever one you prefer, highly recommend fire spells for this. And 92 prayer, I've only put that in because 92 prayer will allow you access to soul split. And with soul split, you have longer trips. Alternatively, you can have just 40 prayer, as long as you can either protect from mage and protect from range, so 40 plus prayer on the standard prayer book. And you have to have completed the quest while Gothic sleeps. It's got quite a few requirements, but I'm sure it shouldn't be an issue. So get straight into the gear. So on the left here, we have the gear, which is sort of a basic gear setup that you can take. It's hybrid armor, so we've got War Priestess Aradom in here, with Fury, some bolts, Virtus Wand, Virtus Book, and a Ring of Wealth, and the Aura. But of course, we can swap these out. So alternative weapons to the Virtus Book and the Virtus Wand would be a Chaotic Staff for better accuracy, into an Armadillo Bat Staff, into a Polypore Staff in descending order. And for the ranged, on the right hand side, if we take a look at the invent, we have the Royal Crossbow, which is probably one of the best for this this trip. Or again, swap that out for a Zarite bow, or any higher tier bow, chaotic crossbow, or a crystal bow, or a tuned crystal bow, similar stats to the chaotic crossbow. But the reason why we take hybrid gear is because we don't want to be swapping our gear every time we swap our style. So with hybrid gear, it enables us to have an all-round balance. So we just swap our weapon out into a magic or range weapon. Same with the ring and amulet. Ring of Wealth for better access to the rare drop table, or swap that out for the 6-stage circuit, or Asylum Surgeon's Ring, which both give some of the best boosts in the game. Again, Amulet, Fury, you can swap that out for the Amulet of Souls, the best enemy in the game, in my opinion, or Fury Trimmed, which gives, I think, +3 bonus to each Strength, Magic, and Ranged over the Fury, or Dragon Rider Amulet, which is a hybrid amulet, and is obtained from the World Wakes quest, I think. And then with the setup, the inventory setup, so have a weapon switch, swap into a ranged weapon or a magic weapon. Pots, a few prayer pots, again swap those for prayer renewals if you want. And our 2 boosting pots, so we have a super range and a super magic, or bring overloads, or super restores. A little bit of food, only necessary in case you take a few hits, but you won't be needing much food, as you can just either use regenerate or heal up via soul split. Games necklace will be required just to save time, so we teleport with that to the Tears of Gothics. Sapphire Lantern, absolutely essential to get into the actual cavern by attracting light creatures. Summoning pouches, swap this out, either Bunyip for a little bit extra healing. You can bring a Unicorn, Pack-Yak, Terrorbird, or War Tortoise. Some runes here, Fire runes, Air runes, just so we can cast our spells. Fire spells recommended. Nature runes for Alk ability, as we will be obtaining a large number of rune drops, rune plates, rune swords, things like that, rune maces, and absolutely necessary a dark light to ensure that we break the demon shield, and then a little emergency telly just in case. So an alternative armor setup would be Void. Void highly recommended as well. Void here, we've got Void top, bottoms, and gloves, and the helmet, which we have to wear all 4 pieces to get the stat boost. And then again, the gear is pretty much the same. Ring is pretty much the same, amulet and cape. So cape we can swap out. Completion's cape would be the best cape recommended, into a max cape, into a skill cape, or a god cape. Or you can bring that hybrid cape, which was the Saradomin cape, which I was bringing last time. For the inventory, it's the same standard setup, except we bring the helm swap, as we have Void, so we have to swap our range helm into a magic helm, or mage helm into our range helm. When we swap into a magic style, this requires a bit more clicking, but you'll be getting a great amount of DPS out. Standard invent remains the same. And then if we're on a Slayer task, again, recommended to only do these on Slayer, as you do get a little bit of an extra boost, but you can do them off task to make a bit of extra money. So for the helmet, recommended Slayer helmet, full Slayer helmet recommended. A Holy Wrench as well, you can bring this whenever you go, just to restore a bit more prayer points with each prayer dose. And then I've swapped here the gloves out. So hybrid gloves, I've swapped out for the Coloromancer's gloves 10. You can do this as well. Cape swapped out for a skill cape to give a bit more boosts, and kept the top, bottoms, and legs the same. And swapped out the ring as we want to get a faster number of kills. Not really worried about the money, just want to get the Slayer XP. Inventory stays the same. I have brought that Tokuzo, sorry, with me to save time banking, teleport to the fight caves. Alternatives: Aura, bring Vampirism Aura or Penance Aura, Vampirism for healing, or Penance for prayer point game. And for the inventory slot, I've taken a Holy Wrench. You can bring Charm and Imp, as they do have a good charm drop rate, or Sign of Life if you're worried about your hit points or worried about dying, or Bone Crusher, combined with Demon Horn Necklace to get a large amount of prayer points back. So that's all for our setup, and now we will move on to the Adrenaline bar. So here we have our basic ability setup based on our Adrenaline. So the way you want to set this up is by having a mixture of styles. So for this video, we're going to be using ranged and magic, and therefore we want to have our ranged abilities and our magic abilities all set up on the same bar, so we can quickly cycle between them. As well as this, we're going to be having a defensive ability, which is our anticipation. So what this is going to be used for is as an adrenaline stall. So if we're waiting for a TD to spawn, for example, and we have about 60% adrenaline, we want to maintain our threshold. Therefore, we're going to be popping that adrenaline, that anticipation, and therefore keeping our threshold available, and therefore our adrenaline above that 50%, which holds out for about another 4 or 5 seconds. As well as having our regenerate for if we're quite low on HP, pop regenerate, bang, get a little bit of health back. So for our actual setup, so we want to start off with some basic abilities, so basic range abilities to build up our adrenaline. So we start off with piercing shot, dazing shot, and tight bindings. We start off with these to build up our threshold. And by the time we've done enough damage, we're going to have to swap. So we swap into our magic abilities, which we have Rack, Dragon Breath, and Impact. So these are all below threshold. From there on, we get into our threshold abilities. So our 2 magic threshold abilities, we're having our Asphyxiate and Wild Magic, and the 2 ranged threshold abilities, Snapshot and Rapid Fire. So these are going to be above our 50%. So remember, when we use these, we're going to have to go back into the basic abilities to build up that adrenaline again. But I mean, you should be able to get a kill done with a cycle of range, cycled into magic, into a threshold, sorry, and therefore the TD should be dead by that point. So remember, you can change this around, but make sure you've got these basic skills that I'm using. But you can swap out the specific order which they're in and the bindings associated to them. So that's the adrenaline bar setup. Okay, so the way we get there, rub the game's necklace to the Tears of Guthix. Once we arrive here, we should arrive next to Juna. Just run slightly west to the light creatures and travel into the cavern. Make sure you have brought your sapphire lantern with you. Otherwise, if you don't and you're in the dark, you will be attacked by the little bugs on the ground, and they do damage you for quite a bit, as well as the lantern being needed to travel into the light cavern. So if you've done it right, you should get this small animation, and then after a few seconds, you will arrive inside the cavern on the other side. So here, just follow the route. It's a direct route, not too much to worry about. You shouldn't get lost. If you do get lost, consult the map. So here we should get to the walls, climb the walls, wall number 1 and wall number 2, and then enter the mouth. Remember, you do need to have completed while Guthix sleeps for the quest for TDs. So here you can change your cape if you want for a better cape, something like a skill cape or something like that, max cape, comp cape, as you only require 3 parts of the hybrid armor. So when we get here, we want to go hide behind this rock and pot up. Okay, so once we get here, all we want to do is run over here and make sure at this point you want to pot up at this section, because once you move to about this location here, this TD will be able to attack you. So make sure you've got your action bowl set up with your range or melee first. I like starting off with range. So make sure you set up with your spells, auto casting, your highest fire spell, or highest spell that you can cast. And from here, we just want to pot up. So drink 1 dose of super range, not eat that. Drink the super range pot and the super magic pot. And then we can come over to this side. I don't really like moving to this right hand side. I prefer the left hand side. It's just easier for me to lure. So pray mage in case they attack you. And here, so this is our safety rock which we're going to be using. So we start off with range. And as you can see, this TD is sort of blocking us. So if we attack this one, then this will attack us as well. So we have 2 at once. So what we can do, you can either attack this one, lure it back over here. If we attack him here and bring him there, pray mage, because they start off with mage. We're going to bring this one down into there. So now this one's trapped behind this rock. And we go back around and we can lure this TD back, trapped behind this rock. So now we're free to attack this TD without any distractions. The way we do this, we want to range and then quickly swap into the dark light during the range animation. So I'll quickly show you here. So pray mage into this little rock here. Just turn auto retaliate off. So here, as we attack, we swap halfway into the animation, which takes down his shield. And now you want to swap into your alternative style when you've done about 3,000 damage or so. Because once you do about 3,000 damage, then as you see, they pray. So he's going to swap his prayer into what you're currently using. So you do about 3,000 damage and then swap into your alternative style. And then swap. You can also auto and then use a threshold to do large amount of damage, then swap and quickly kill it, take it down with thresholds. And as you saw, we'll do another kill again, and that was quite a lucky drop there. We'll do another kill, and as you can see, they have 2 types of styles. So the first style they generally start off with is their magic attack. So as we see here, if they shoot sort of from their mouth, we see that he's doing a mage attack. If we swap back there, kill that. And again, we may get attacked from this one, so all we do is simply run behind this rock to lure him there, and he can't attack us now. So when it does that little animation there, it goes down, they're most likely changing styles, and as you see, that was the range style. If it throws it from its hand, he's going to be ranging, but if he throws it sort of from his mouth, then he's going to be using a mage attack. So again, range there. And they'll swap styles about every 10 seconds or so. When they do that, that's when they're most likely going to swap styles. So bang into the mage protection to stop him from hitting us and provide the full protection. And as prayers were reduced a while ago to 50% damage reduction, for TDs they do give the full 100% damage reduction, which is quite handy. So then we swap back into range. So for your drops, you can just pick up your drops normally. Again, advise to bring a charm and imp because they do drop a considerable amount of green charms and blue charms. Quite a good blue charm drop rate here. And they drop a lot of rune drops, so rune swords, rune plate body once in a while. And all we can do is simply just out those to free up a bit more space. And as well, they drop declaws offhand and main hand together in one, as well as a bit of dragon armor, which was actually quite lucky to actually get that on the first kill. So anyway, that's the end of the TDs guide. I hope you enjoyed. Any questions, comments, anything like that, just give me a little message and I will get back to you as soon as I can. Cheers.